This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast. Yes, it is. I don't really know how that's going to come off on the recording. It sounded pretty weird. Was it weird, Tim?
Yeah, no, it's not going to go well.
All right, perfect. So it reflects us perfectly. All right, good.
Exactly.
I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with
Timothy Baker.
And as that weirdo at the beginning said, this is the You, Me, and BTC podcast. We are back with you for another Thursday. Thanks for tuning in today. We should be thanking you more than we possibly could, because this show wouldn't exist without our listeners. So thanks for taking the second or two or three to click on the link that you saw and the hour or so to listen. So glad that you're here with us. On the list for today, we are going to talk about the Brave browser, or the Brave Ledger. I guess the Ledger is part of it. It's this fancy piece of software that is an internet browser, and it's kind of like an ad blocker. It is an ad blocker and a script blocker and stuff. But it also has some elements of ProTip, if you know what that is. We've talked about it in the past. And it kind of lets you pay the sites that you visit with micropayments anonymously. And we'll get into some of the details there about how that works. You basically, all right, I'm going to block your ads, but I still like that you're giving me content, so I'm going to pay you something is kind of the idea behind it. And we will get to that in a minute. Before we do, I want to mention again our awesome sponsor, Satoshi Dice. You all know who Satoshi was, the creator of Bitcoin. Well, apparently his soul lives on in a Nokia 500 cell phone that was left in a subway station at Tokyo, and that ghost created Satoshi Dice. According to legend, that's the story behind Satoshi Dice.
It was started by the hobos who played dice all around. They started noticing it like jumping up, and like the dice would make like weird messages to them.
Exactly.
Buy, sell, Mount Gox is shit.
And then there was Satoshi Dice. It is the original and the best Bitcoin dice game. That is their slogan, and sometimes slogans are kind of sketchy or whatever, but it's completely true. They are really like the first one. They've been around forever, completely trusted. I don't have all the stats in front of me, but they are one of the biggest. They have one of the biggest bankrolls that I've seen. And you can roll the dice. It's provably fair, and you can win real Bitcoin, which we all know is the realest money there is. If you would like to check it out, sd.umeandbtc.com. That's how you can find it and start rolling today. sd.umeandbtc.com. All right, Tim, apparently, as of, a half an hour ago, you are a Brave user. So let me know what you know about it. Why did you find it and get interested in it? What's it like?
Well, I mean, I've found that I'm always a brave person. I definitely describe myself as that. So I felt like...
Are you brave enough to make a phone without a headphone jack?
Yes. I am completely brave enough to try to get stupid people to pay for products like that. But... yeah, like I said, I'm a brave person. I deal with a lot in my life. There's so much right now in my first world existence that I have to be brave about, and I have to get through. But brave is something for that, because I need to look up a lot of weird stuff, because I'm a weird person. Again, I'm brave. It's not weird, I'm brave. But brave is something that instead of you having to use, it's a browser. It's a beta for a payment system. It's a ledger. Is that what you called it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You called it, yeah, a ledger.
As far as I can tell, the ledger aspect of it is kind of keeping track of who visits what websites and how much and how many times. And they use that ledger to calculate who owes what website how much money.
Okay.
Or they don't owe it, but like how much they are expected to contribute.
Yeah, because it's almost more as like a tip thing, and versus like being forced, you're going to have to pay this just to use this, or you're going to have to see our blaring ads. But this is the browser side of it is what's, I think, in full force, right? The browser and the ledger is where it automatically blocks ads and trackers and which is kind of counterintuitive to what Daniel said about that it keeps track of where people go and how much you owe. Well, the difference with Brave is that it's supposed to do it anonymously.
Yeah, that is the innovation. The fact that that's what the innovation is it sounds like you can't really stay anonymous and keep track of all this stuff, but supposedly they've done it with this protocol that they call Anonize, which I glanced at a little bit, and the premise there is like a protocol that allows you to survey people or collect information and keep those people completely anonymous. I don't know the math behind it. I don't know how it works. There's a registrar and public keys and private keys and everything, but that's what it does. So it collects this information and keeps you anonymous, which, like I said, I haven't audited the code myself. I can't promise that it works perfectly, but it sounds pretty darn awesome, and it does seem like a good innovation, I think.
I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it works. I'm looking at the page now, and it says that and part of it involves them sending out, sending stuff out to people's emails for a certain... This is, I think, a little bit different than what they're talking about. I just dropped something. I apologize, everybody. I am brave enough, though, to accept it and to point out my failings instead of just working on professionally.
Instead of just backing up a sentence and cutting it out, which is what I would do, so...
Cunt. What was I saying? I think that this is this Anonize, at least what they're talking about on their page for doing surveys, they send out a set of what they call target user emails. The survey gets posted to a separate, just a public web page, and then only the people who've gotten emails, I guess, from them can make a response. Again, I don't know how that keeps them anonymous, or if it's just they kind of send out a blanket thing and you don't know, who you're sending the email to, but you don't know which answer they give.
Right, that's possible. Yeah, like I said, I don't know the details, but it seems pretty interesting, and I will say, it kind of surprised me that this is at brave.com. That's their website, brave.com. It's not brave.io. It's not bravebrowser.com. That tells me that this is a pretty serious project. The website is... Okay, here in comparison, there's ProTip, which is, they have prot.ip, I think, is their website. Or I don't know, maybe they have protip.com, but still, what I would expect with a project like this is just a GitHub and a couple people that help make it, and whatever. It is what it is. It's some people use it and it's kind of cool, but it's just a little niche project and whatever. But the fact that they are running brave.com, the fact that their website is so fancy and stuff, it tells me that it's probably a pretty serious project. I don't know who's behind it. And it surprises me because it doesn't seem like this would explode and that this would really be a giant profitable company and everything. But I don't know. What do you think it could be? Does it looks... I guess that's what I'm saying is it just looks a lot more legit than I would have expected for a project like this.
Yeah, and...
honestly, even Tor or Wikipedia, those are just niche little projects that some people might use. Well, no, Wikipedia, that was a bad example. I was thinking Tor, and somehow I just said Wikipedia in there too.
Wikipedia,
ignore that.
The thing that everybody, yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, I think Brave.com, does show that they are at least putting some kind of money already behind this.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
also the website looks good. What was the website we were looking at last week that we were just this is so shitty?
Globe Spotter, yeah.
Yeah. And that wasn't even that bad, but this is an actual nice website. It's got, again, this is what happens, and then 2 weeks later, we're yeah, it was all a scam. They just had a nice website for an extra $300, and then...
Yeah, it's not a fancy website wasn't quite the right term. There's nothing special about it. It's just clean. It's just it's not hackery, it's not random, it's not just a GitHub, it's not just a Reddit thread about this new project that they're working on. That's all I meant, is it's just a real website. I don't want to beat that point to death too much because it's nothing crazy. But all I'm saying is it seems like they're expecting it to be a pretty big scale project. That's probably the main thing. And I guess it could be. I don't know. What do you think? I still have trouble like expecting it to grow that big, but they think it will. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I didn't really even talk about it, but as you said again, I want to bring back that I'm a Brave user and a Brave person just in general, but I have used it a little bit. And I looked up a review for it, which is mostly what's going to affect my opinion, because I find when I look at reviews for things, I then kind of just automatically go with the last one that I read until I read about 5 and I'm all confused and I have no idea what to think about the product. But, it does seem to work. It loads quickly. There aren't ads. They're kind of already knocked off. I should look at the page now. But, and in the reviews I was looking at, I mean, it shows their tests on their webpage as well that, I mean, in some instances, I didn't really get from the review, I didn't understand exactly what they were talking about whenever he was mentioning the different ways they measure the speed of it. Because he said it won, I think, 2 out of 5 times.
Interesting.
It's especially on websites like Amazon, which are kind of, Amazon or any other website where there's a lot of ads that are...
Well, Amazon, they don't really have ads. Any ads that they have are going to be for their own products. They're not going to advertise like...
They do have some.
I mean, they have sponsored links, but it's still to Amazon products, right?
There used to at least be, it's like below the sponsored stuff, there's also a bunch of things from other websites.
I think I know what you mean. Maybe.
I mean, I'll look at it right now.
Yeah, let me know what you find.
And you just have like pop-ups, a lot of pop-ups on stuff. And it's Amazon's ads, but I think it kind of does get rid of those too.
Okay.
Let me
but
look
still,
at that.
there's a lot better examples than Amazon, I think. Like,
again, I'm just taking the review.
Well, the only reason I'm saying this is because I work for a site, for a media company with several sites that have a ton of ads, and I'm not really that proud of them. They have way more ads than they should have. I'm sorry if you're listening, guys, but it's true. So, and what I'm saying is ours are way worse and way slower than Amazon's. So Amazon, sure, it gets rid of some ads there, but I think there are better examples of sites that need help.
Well, I mean, just plenty of political sites with everything that pops up on those.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing, which it doesn't just say ads. It says tracking, right? And scripting. So
yeah, which is the safety part of it versus like just the annoyance. But I literally just typed in political sites. I'm fucking retarded sometimes.
Oh, geez. But a lot of people don't think about this unless you run websites. But every single one of them is tracking you. And we've had episodes about this before where a lot of Liberty lovers freak out about that stuff. And even though we're a Liberty podcast, in general, I don't want to speak too much for Tim and John, or not even for myself, because my opinion changes all the time. But in general, we're not too worried about tracking. We kind of came to the conclusion that, well, yeah, I mean, that's how it works. They track you, so what? In general, I know there are people out there that are going to bash us to death for that. But anyway, the point is, every single site that you visit is tracking you, probably with Google Analytics. They're collecting, and it's not even identifiable. They don't know who you are, but they are aggregating the data to see how many page views they get per day, to see what locations and ages are reading their content, to see, their Facebook has analytics now where I can install Facebook Analytics on my site and it can connect to your Facebook user profile. And I wouldn't see that. I would not be able to see that Bill Bilson from Billtown visited my website, and neither would Facebook. I mean, if they wanted to, they could, but it's not set up to do so. It's set up to be aggregated. so that I can't see your name, but I can see that 25% of the visitors came back the next day or something like that. So anyway, I that was just an explanation of what tracking is and how every single site virtually does it, including ours. We do have Google Analytics. If you really want to block it, go ahead and block it. I don't care. But anyway, so there's the other but that Brave also blocks scripting like that. I guess that's it. I guess I was just explaining what that is. And yes, Brave does block that too. What do you think, Tim? Are you worried about that kind of tracking?
I'd say yes. I'm not like afraid of it, but it's more just like if I have the option, I might as well just be like, yeah, fuck you. I don't want to give this to you.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's actually the idea that if you have the option to be more private, then sure, why not? That's something else that came up all the time when we were talking about privacy. We basically said, well, it's not a huge deal, but if it's easy, then sure, go for it. Like if you can just install an encrypted messaging app and it works and it's like a few clicks and you're done, then sure, use encrypted messaging. So you and I, Tim, we use encrypted messaging because it's easy. So in that sense, yeah, sure, go be private, hide your conversations, whatever. I don't care. It's easy, have fun. It doesn't really change much. But if that app didn't exist yet, and if the only way to have encrypted messaging was for you and I to both spend like a whole weekend trying to install like some special email server with this special encryption, and we would have to set up another server to be a relay and all that crap, then that like it's a waste of time. Like, yeah, it's more private, sure, but don't waste your time.
I don't really care.
Yeah. I guess so you're right. So even we came to the conclusion a little bit that privacy wasn't a huge deal, but we're still all for it. I mean, if it's easy, be private. Sure, go for it.
Well, yeah, and I think that's it's most people, like you said, or maybe you didn't say that, but it's like most people like that, the easier it's going to be, yeah, sure, I'll try it, which I could understand. Like Brave, at least as far as, I mean, you can just download it and then it's there, so I haven't had to set up anything. I mean, I'm going to have to fuck around with the preferences and stuff like that because, like, it's not a lot. It doesn't let, I think, Java, right? It doesn't let,
JavaScript.
It doesn't let that run right away.
Which again, every single site has JavaScript. I mean, not literally, but pretty much, because it's just the language of the web. It's how stuff happens on the internet. Anything other than just like words and pictures, anything fancy that happens has to be JavaScript, pretty much. So
yeah, and I mean, I'm okay with that. I feel like I'd rather them overdo it as a default setting, than underdo it, because I'm definitely the person who then goes, oh wait, I should have probably had this on. If I was even using this, I might as well just always have this on for stuff. But so I'm glad they did it like that.
Yeah, I definitely think in general, it's a good idea. Like I said, this is like an easy encrypted messaging app, like I was just talking about. This is this is the app that makes it easy to be private. I mean, all you have to do is install it and use it, and it's easy. So, like I said, in that sense, go for it. Be private. It is easy, I'm assuming. It seems like it. And yeah, so I think there are a ton of good ideas here. I have nothing against being private. I have nothing against ad blocking. I definitely don't have anything against supporting websites. I would love it if you supported ours. But with all of that said, with all the good ideas here, I did have one pretty confusing point, or I read something pretty confusing about it that gives me mixed messages about what they're going for, I guess. So I'll just read the quote here. This is from brave.com/publishers, because I should back up a little bit. The very first question that I had when Tim told me about this browser is, how do you sign up to receive those payments? If you're a publisher, if you're a website, like how do I get registered so that people that are using Brave that visit my website will end up paying me at the end of the month? How do I sign up? Like, do I put my Bitcoin address on my web page? That's how ProTip works. ProTip scans every website for a Bitcoin address, and then it knows who to pay for that website. But I couldn't find any of that information on Brave. I read some news articles about it and some blog posts, and nothing said how you become a publisher. I finally found it at brave.com/publishers. I don't remember how I found it. It was hard to get here. I couldn't find any links to it very easily. But basically, you have to. It's not decentralized, I guess. It's not like you just put up your address and get paid. You have to register with Brave, and there's a couple steps here. But my favorite one, sarcastically, is step number 3. After verifying your site, you can view the current funds available for withdrawal. If you're ready to receive your funds, you may verify your wallet and submit the necessary tax forms. What? Like, they're going on and on about privacy and like well, no, they don't actually mention decentralized because apparently it's not really at all. But they use Bitcoin. And they talk all about privacy and safety, but make sure you pay your taxes while you're at it. I don't know. Like I said, mixed messages there. I don't know. It just doesn't, why would they, I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
I think they do that so that they don't get a knock on the proverbial door one day. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to need a little bit more of your money. And we get that it's in Bitcoin, so we're going to look at it even more. So it's probably better to just set it up right now than to have to worry about it down the road. Because I'm imagining that they're based in the U.S.
Yeah, sure, probably. I guess it's the same thing that we were saying at the beginning. If you're going to have enough money to have Brave.com, and if you're going to put together a big project like this, if the bigger the project, the bigger the target you are from the government, and therefore the more you have to try to obey them. Is that a relatively accurate statement?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So you're right. Like that's why. We know why, because they're a big company that hopes to be a big thing, and they don't want the government to come after them. But it still bugs me. I mean, there's got to be a way to do this in a decentralized manner. I mean, that's what ProTip already does it, where there is no middleman. You don't pay Brave. You pay the website directly. And I feel like that's a deal breaker for me. Like, why would I use this if it has a middleman and it's possible to do it without a middleman? Especially when the middleman is a giant corporation. I don't know how giant it is, but a big company anyway. Like, why would I use something like this when I can do it without it? Right? Like, all I have to do is, track, just like ProTip. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to promote. I love ProTip, but I'm not even trying to promote them. All I'm saying is ProTip does it way better. Like, if you're concerned about paying the websites that you visit, and if you're concerned about ad blocking, Adblock Plus is, a decade old probably now, and it works perfectly. It blocks exactly the ads that you want blocked. So, like I said, a lot of cool ideas there. Brave has some good ideas and some good goals, but I don't think it put it together in the right way. I don't know. What do you think, Tim? Are you going to keep using it?
Yeah, I'll keep on messing around with it for a little bit. I'll probably use... I mostly use Google, but if I start to find that Brave's quicker, I'll probably switch over to Brave. You can't really use stuff
you
like
mean
bookmarks.
you mostly use Google Chrome?
Yeah.
And do you use Adblock with that?
Yeah.
All right, and you still think Brave is faster. Okay, that could be because of the scripting, because Adblock doesn't block all scripts. It doesn't block Google Analytics. It doesn't block Facebook tracking and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess Brave has some advantages there. Although, if you really wanted script blocking in Chrome, you can get it. I mean, there's either an extension or just a setting to just turn off scripting. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess the main thing is anonymity. I mean, that's something that you don't get with Adblock. That's something that is not perfect with something like ProTip. At least, I don't know. It just, I honestly have no idea. It just doesn't seem like a huge leap. I don't know.
It's not a huge leap as far as what it can do differently, but I think, at least not yet, because we haven't really seen it work too well yet, but if it does everything it says it does, maybe that'd be cool, but I guess that's true for any new technology, or any new, what they say is an advancement. We'll have to see if it works, but still I think it's working in the right direction. Just kind of building a private, at least what they're saying is they're building it from a privacy and a streamlined approach from the get-go versus other browsers are kind of default pretty open, pretty loose.
Yeah, I will say their long-term vision does sound pretty good. I have some good sentences here from a blog post that they made announcing their payments, the payments part of their product. And it says, standardizing anonymous micropayments will take years of effort before something cross-browser can be added to the web's specifications. However, by integrating Bitcoin under the hood with Brave payments today, along with faster and more secure ad-free and tracker-free browsing already in Brave, we hope to gain enough loyal users so that, with your help, we can collaborate on a truly private, even decentralized, eventual standard for web payments. So that sounds to me like they're admitting. They say it'll take years of effort to have the eventual standard for private and even decentralized web payments. That is a noble goal, I think. It sounds like they're saying, all right, yeah, we're not really decentralized, but we're going to get there someday. And that's huge. And they also talk about having a cross-browser solution that is added to the web's specifications, which means like I said, in that case, there wouldn't need to be any middlemen. Literally every website you visited by protocol could have some sort of Bitcoin address or some sort of payment address. And automatically, by protocol, all the visitors could aggregate their funds and send them to the websites that they want to support and everything automatically based on the protocol. That, I think, is all pretty cool stuff. And especially if it really is decentralized in the end, and if they have truly private standards for web payments, all right, if you're going to get there someday, if you really do it, I'm all for that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll support that for you, Daniel. Remember, I'm brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Satoshi Dice is without a doubt the original and best Bitcoin dice game. At sd.umeandbtc.com, you can sign up in seconds, set your own odds with the slider, and instantly start rolling the provably fair dice. You can even gamble directly on the blockchain. It's trusted, it's slick, and it's an absolute blast. Explore the dice game that started it all and win big at sd.umeandbtc.com.
We also want to talk about another facet of Brave, and one of their ideas, and it's called a peanut buttering process for ad replacement.
Yeah, I still have no idea what they mean by peanut buttering.
I was kind of hoping that was some kind of technical term that you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a specific thing that we use, because there's always just stupid names. I'm like, yeah, sure, call it that.
I mean, it could be a technical term, but I guess as far as I'm concerned, ad replacement pretty much is enough. That explains it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so like what Daniel said, taking away my thunder and making me look not as brave, but instead of completely getting rid of ads and paying for getting rid of ads or tipping for getting rid of ads, Brave would also be offering an ability to replace ads, I guess, with, I don't know if it'd be more targeted ads, or if it's just ones you're more interested in.
Well, no, I actually don't think that it would be about targeting, because it's supposed to be more anonymous, but again, maybe that's part of the innovation, that they can target I don't know. I don't know if they're targeted or what. But what I do know is that they replace the ads. Maybe the key to me, ad replacement would be fewer ads. Like, oh, we'll take off 90% of the ads because you're going to support us with your Brave payments. That's what I would expect if you're going to replace the ads. But I don't know, you could be right. Maybe they're just ads that don't track you, or maybe they're ads that do track you anonymously. I guess that's possible.
That's what I'm thinking, only because they talk about how they divide up the payments for whenever you're using ad replacement. They say that 15% is taken by Brave software, 15% is reserved for ad replacement personas or just people using that, is from what I understand that means. But then also a 15% goes to our ad match partner.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something you send out that you can pick ads. I don't like. Yeah, this doesn't really look too great to me, just because I'm normally one who I don't like targeted ads either. Well, no, I just don't like being told, here's a sale, because then I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll just spend money all the fucking time.
Yeah,
so I have to. It's a good deal.
That's another thing that I deal with all the time working at a media company is ad targeting. We run ads and we target certain people that, visited certain pages or read certain articles or shared certain articles. And we run ads from ad networks that do extremely heavy targeting. They'll keep track of what you look at on Amazon and show you ads for that stuff. We've all seen that. And, I get ads for cigars all the time because I buy cigars. So that's stuff. You have no idea the amount of technology that goes into this data collection and aggregation and distribution. I had to go through a training thing for this ad network the other day, and it just this gigantic, complicated process for bidding on ad space based on targeting. It's insane. And yeah, so that is a huge part of advertising. And if they could do that and still keep you anonymous, which, like I said, I guess that's part of the innovation. I don't completely understand it, but apparently that's what they figured out how to do, is collect information and keep it anonymous. So yeah, maybe that is what they're doing, because they do, like you said, Tim, they do have 15% of the revenue is for the ad match partners. So apparently they're matching ads to you somehow. And I don't know how well it's going to work or how accurate it'll be, but I mean, yeah, I'm not really against targeting, because why would I market my website to a statist? I wouldn't. That would be a waste of money. So I want to know if you're a statist or not. And then, or if you're a Bitcoin lover, or if you're a crypto lover, or a Liberty lover, and then I'll show you an ad for my website. I mean, that would be worthwhile. And that's exactly how these systems work. That's why Facebook lets me show my ads to Liberty lovers. So I don't have anything against targeting, but hey, if you can do it and somehow keep it anonymous, all right, cool, let's do it.
Just a personal request from me: if there's any statists out there listening, please not take Daniel's words as an offense meant towards you. We would actually appreciate your donations the most, because you're probably going to give them to something stupid and completely unnecessary. So please continue with those donations.
I mean, you're used to giving away like a third of your income every April, so why not give away another third this October? Yeah, it's no biggie. All right, so we do have addresses at Bitcoin donation addresses at me&btc.com. If you want to, you could even turn on Adblocker and then go visit and find the address. So that is an option. All right. I had fun. I had fun going over all this, and we would love to know what you think, because we don't understand all of it. We don't know everything about it. So give us your opinions. Tell us if you think that this is true, that they're really able to block ads and still bring you great content, or if they're able to ad match and keep you anonymous, Or if it's a joke, because you can already block ads in Chrome or in Firefox, you just tell us what the heck you think. Tell us if you would use it. Tell us if you think people would even be willing to give up $5 a month to the websites they visit, or are they so used to getting free content? Send us a tweet at you, me, and BTC, or leave a comment for us if you'd like, wherever you're watching, on YouTube, on our website, on SoundCloud. We did just get SoundCloud just the other day. SoundCloud.com/you, me, and BTC. Drop us a heart or a like wherever you are. Anyway, let us know what you think, and we'd love to strike up a fanciful conversation. Before we do officially wrap up, though, as always, we got to do advice of the week. So, Tim, what is going to be so radically different for all of our listeners over the next week? What have we learned today that's going to radically revamp our lives?
I think really we need to focus on being brave for Bitcoin, being brave with our browsing habits. Don't be afraid to just go out and tell strangers the last thing you looked up on Google. I hear it's a real good way to meet people. But also just be brave for yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve to speak your mind loud and proud. But you also deserve to not have anybody know what you look at online, I guess, or whatever. Shut up. Just do stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Talk to people. Show people that there's different options out there besides Chrome, Mozilla. I sound like I'm pitching like a third-party presidential candidate, and it's about as useless as doing that.
There are better options.
So whatever. I don't know, but tell somebody about it. Tell somebody about Brave. You might kind of spark their interest about something, and like, oh, well, I kind of like this. What's Bitcoin? And then you get another person in there to buy it, so it goes up, because my finances aren't doing that good right now, guys. So I need Bitcoin to just jump.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, it is on the way up, so you got that. It's up, 5% over the past week, I guess? So
yeah, it's been doing something.
Yeah. So, all right, my advice for this week, I guess I'll go back to my sarcastically favorite part, which was the part about them collecting tax forms. And I guess what I would say is, if you're going to make a privacy-centric tool for people to use, please, for the love of God, make it decentralized. Don't make yourself into this giant company that has to collect tax forms and pay taxes and everything. Just make it decentralized. Make it like ProTip. If you can't figure out how to do it, how it's physically possible to do X, Y, and Z in a decentralized manner, you're not ready to start your company yet. Figure it out. It's possible. I mean, we've seen it over the past, 7 years with Bitcoin and all the other technology that's coming around it. Decentralization is possible. You just got to figure it out. And I think it can be done. No need to collect tax forms. I'm sorry, you just don't have to do it. So, do some more research, figure it out, and build something better than a tax collecting agency.
You fucks.
All right. Thanks for being here again, guys. Remember, probably our most active social channel is Twitter. So if that's the one place that you're looking to go after this, at you, me, and BTC on Twitter, or just our website, you can find all kinds of links there for wherever you want to interact with us. You, me, and BTC.com. Thanks so much for being here. We will see you in about 7 days. And I guess that's about when John will be getting married. So wish him luck, and he'll be back. Hopefully it's at least 2 weeks, because he better not be with us on his honeymoon. So, all right, peace out, everyone. His music is playing right now, though, so that's a tribute to him while he's not here. Listen to his music and enjoy it. Peace, everyone.
Bye-bye.